All right, so folks, so content creator Jamieson Daley wants to remind us that there is a season for everything, and we shouldn't allow this pandemic to dampen our patriotism. Jamaica still, this too shall pass. Take a look.
Jamaica, this too shall pass. It takes a certain type of person to call him or herself a Jamaican. It takes a special kind of tenacity. For many of the almost 3 million people living on this island, struggle has always been a part of the landscape. Yet we have always moved forward and fought for positive change. This is an unspoken truth for all those who call Jamaica home. But we do live here because this is our home. Our home is not just a place we live. A home is our friends, our families, our lives. Home is a place we let ourselves love. And because of that, it will always be home. On this island, many of us at times can feel alone, forgotten, even forsaken. Some of us end up in a darker place, a place where we might make decisions we regret. Only you have lived your life and felt the pains you felt. You ask, how can anyone really relate to the decisions you have made? But I do believe in these times we all feel some of the same things. The fear, the uncertainty. We worry about our parents, our siblings, our children, our family and friends, the economy, the potential for civil unrest, the increased crime and violence that may follow. Harder times are likely to come, and trying to process that is a hard task in itself. However, this is also what we do know. This nation has survived so much. The majority of us are the descendants of slaves that found the strength to endure much pain, or had the opportunity to escape their shackles to become the warriors called the Maroons, who fought for their freedom and sovereignty and claimed it. Or maybe your ancestors were immigrants, searching for a new life despite all odds and fear of the unknown. Regardless of the history of how you came to be on this island, Jamaica became your home. We have lost an entire city to an earthquake and flood, robbing our nation of what was once considered at the time the richest and most secure city of the New World. Still, we moved forward. We have come through some of the worst economic collapses experienced by any Caribbean nation. Still, we moved forward. We have felt the disastrous power of some of the worst hurricanes that have decimated much of our infrastructure, environment, and wildlife. Yet, we are still here. We rebuilt and we moved forward. But not only are we here, but before this pandemic, there was so much hope in the air for our nation. Development and growth in every sector, emerging small businesses and entrepreneurship, sports, tourism was at an all-time high. Reggae music was experiencing a revival in a big way. Conscious thinking, spiritualism, activism were all aligned and everyday conversation. You could feel it. The economy, the people, the nation, all making strives for a better Jamaica for all. We are not ready to lose hope. We will not lose hope. Not for ourselves, but for everyone else around us. For everyone that we love. Because this is our home and our home is worth fighting for. There are those on the front line taking the risks every day, keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, keeping us organized, keeping us in the know. We've seen many more of our people take a stand, rise to the occasion, and do what they can to make a difference in these trying times. Because in these trying times, moving forward as a nation means all of us working together, diligently and creatively, while thinking generously and honestly. These are not selfish acts. We do this not only because of duty, but because if not us, then who? This crisis does not discriminate. It affects everyone of all classes, colors, backgrounds, and professions. We are all in this together. You see, life consists of falls and failures. This is necessary for growth, so we can learn from our past, see the errors in our ways, pick ourselves up, and keep moving forward. Better, smarter, stronger. But realize this, the entire world has stumbled. Everyone, everywhere, all at once. We have all collectively as a human race fallen to our knees and placed hand upon ground that supports us. Realize as a world we are rising from this stumble, together. Einstein once said that imagination is a preview of what is to come. But we don't need much imagination to know why we keep moving forward. to see clearly the reality we all desire. This message is not really to inspire hope. I believe to be Jamaican, we are born and raised with hope ever burning in our hearts. It is how we've always survived and moved forward. Now, more than ever, we need to dig deep and summon that tenacity we all have. Prove to ourselves and the world that we deserve to call ourselves a nation of strong, proud, independent people and re-establish ourselves as the legends and inspirations Jamaicans have always been. If you agree, may my voice become yours.
Wow, powerful and beautiful reminder by Jamieson Daley. He's a Jamaican storyteller, and this morning it's my pleasure to join him via Zoom to discuss the preservation of our culture through content creation. Hi, Jamieson. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Let's
And
talk.
happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day to you. How did you get involved in content creation in the first place?
To be honest, it is something that's been a part of my life growing up, my entire life. At some point, I decided to make it my profession and my way of life as well. I started professionally about 7 years ago, but I've been creating videos and photos and content for friends and family from as long as I can remember.
Yeah, Jamaica is a cinematographer's dream. So tell me about that aspect of creating content and capturing all the beautiful things about our nation.
Well, there was a point where I saw the need for new creative storytellers to come and tell some of Jamaica's stories because, like you said, Jamaica is a very beautiful place. It is a place filled with many, many untold stories, and I thought that we could have a fresh approach with someone new like myself with a different type of perspective, creating new content that could touch on some of those stories and showcase some of Jamaica's beauty and preserving some of that culture, immortalizing it in content that I create, for example.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the main objectives when I started creating content around Jamaica. I got some support from KIG, which has been a huge help in terms of going around the island and capturing content because they sponsor me a vehicle. And I've just been doing that for the last 3 years, focusing on just going around Jamaica, finding the stories, the untold stories, capturing the beautiful places that exist, that the trails less traveled, the roads less traveled, and showcasing a lot of that to the world. More recently, I've been focusing more on issues that matter. So those last videos, the Jamaica National Pledge tribute and this Too Shall Pass, I felt was necessary, in terms of the message.
Yeah. You said 3 years, which means this is not just a preoccupation. You have a passion as well for Jamaican and creating Jamaican content. Because, you could have gotten up and said, I'm going to do this for 2 months and then be over it. What drives this passion, Jamieson, and this commitment to things Jamaican? Wow.
I would be here all day if I tried to speak to where that passion comes from.
Yeah.
I am Jamaican. I feel as if all of us have some kind of role we can play in terms of helping, develop our country, in terms of helping the people around us. And at some point, I realized what my talent is. I realized how I can contribute in some way through the videos I create, the visuals I capture, the stories I tell. And so far it seems as if I haven't made much of a mistake in that decision because it has had a lot of impact. And that impact then motivates me to create more, for sure. It's like a never-ending cycle that keeps letting me grow.
Yeah.
And in return, everyone grows around me in that sense because I do feel as if video content, if film pieces, creating feelings, brings us together because of the understanding it creates, and remembering who we are is a big part of being a Jamaican.
I'm a big fan of Jamaican storytelling because I believe that in the future, generations will be able to look back at content like this and learn about our country, and our children can access this over and over again. So let's start with the pledge, because the pledge is something that we all learn, or we're supposed to learn it, when we go to school. We say the words, but sometimes I don't know if it resonates with us as it should, or we understand what we're saying, but watching the video brought it home a little bit more forcefully to me. Tell me about that process of doing the pledge and finding the images that would work with what this pledge says about us as a people.
So I'm going to be honest with you. The pledge, the inspiration for that came when I was watching a film, a TV series, The Crown, and I heard the orchestra rendition of the song that we sing the pledge to.
Yes.
And at that moment, it all came to me like all at once, in terms of wanting to create a video that would obviously ignite that nostalgic feel when you watch it. Think about, your childhood when you learned those words and were singing the song, and bringing us back to that place, which I thought would be definitely a powerful moment in itself. But then also I wanted to do more than just remind us about the pledge. I wanted to add a message to it. Say words that I think Jamaicans need to hear and understand, remembering who we are, remembering what's important, and that this is our home. And that even though we are all not going to become heroes or achieve hero status, we can definitely do a lot just by being good people, just by helping our fellow citizens, just by thinking creatively and honestly, generously.
Yeah.
So the visuals that I capture is to complement in different ways. Some of it is to show us, because a lot of people in Jamaica unfortunately don't have the privilege to explore and see the Jamaica I am able to see as much as I do. And me sharing that content in terms of all the different beautiful places, the wildlife, the landscapes, the hidden gems, for those that aren't able to see themselves, at least they understand, hey, my home is amazing. My home is beautiful. I really should have more pride and appreciation for the land that we grew up in. And we as a people really should, be more respectful and more, caring in terms of nurturing that home.
Yeah.
Whether it's about the people around us or it's about the environment itself. I find that a lot of us at times lose sight of that.
And this too shall pass is a reminder of the resilience that we have as a nation and that strength that is ingrained in us. Tell me about the making of that video.
Well, after creating the National Pledge Tribute and seeing the impact and love that people had for it, when COVID happened, when it started to happen, and I could just see how lots of people were in a place that was hard for them, and seeing and knowing things aren't going to get necessarily easier for a while. I felt like it was my responsibility, like I said, to create content I think that would not inspire hope, but remind us of our history, remind us that we are a people that have been through so much. The majority of us survived, like our ancestors. The majority of us persevered through slavery, and those ancestors that weren't slaves or enslaved, they were immigrants that were brave enough to leave their homeland in search of something new. And we've had many trying times in the past, and we've always gotten through it. So this video is basically to remind us that we are a strong, resilient people, and it's just we just need to keep moving forward no matter what, even if it's hard. Don't give up. Don't give in to the temptation of the easy, wrong path, and to just focus on what's important, which is loving the people around us and being good Jamaicans for everyone else.
That's a great way to wrap this up, Jamieson. Thank you so much, not just for the reminders, but for things that will keep us going and preserving who we are and helping us to appreciate our strengths as a Jamaican people. Where do people find you if they want to see more of your content?
Oh, I'm on every platform, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, at Jamieson Daley. It's pretty simple. It's a long name. Well, that's spelled incorrectly. It's Jamieson. IE. So Jamieson, yes, Jamieson Daley. And on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. A lot of my content's been shared by other people, so you'll see it at some point, hopefully.
All right. Awesome talking to you.
Thank you for having me on the show, and happy Independence again.
Happy Independence Day to you as well. All right, that's Jamieson Daley, Jamaican storyteller, talking about preserving our culture through content creation. Sweet, sweet Jamaica, nah left ya. We're coming up next. We'll be taking a walk down memory lane with a few festival songs. We'll be right back.